And we're off. Day 206. We're trying to find our way over to the pancake joint. It's just like 0.3 or something up the way. It was a really hard 0.3 yesterday when we first did it. It took forever. We're like, oh, Jesus, this blue place goes on for miles. But then we were given meat, cheese, and crackers and some lemonade. And that really perked us right up. The walk back only took a couple of seconds. You know, like, oh, shit, we're back already? Amazing what a little sustenance will do for you. But dude said, hey, come back at like 6:30. I'll be making coffee. I'll be making some patriotic pancakes at 7. Hells yeah. Okay, Blue Blaze to breakfast. Okay, we have made it here. Enjoy ourselves some coffee and safety meetings. I mean, we already have. We know how that goes. I've been up for a minute. But, yeah, it's always nice to have another safety meeting and coffee that you didn't have to make yourself. All the skinny guys here cleaned our plates completely, but Colossus here, halfway on. I'm ashamed of you. I've been busting his balls all morning. It is actually a joy in my life to mess with people that are like at least twice my size, if not larger. Colossus is a pretty big dude. And so he sits down at the table and he's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this. And I look over at him, pussy. And then I went back to eating it. And I was hoping I could finish it all because, you know, it's fun to talk shit a little bit and then actually finish. But yeah, the 3 skinny guys at the table polish it all off. He's still got half his food in front of him, so I've just been busting his balls. I'm like, I'll come back later and eat your food that you don't get to. Don't worry, I got your back. It'd be fun if I could actually muster up enough room in there, because I'm not full yet, but I'm comfortably full. I'm going to come out here, have a little safety meeting, and if I go back in, he's still working on them pancakes, maybe I'll just slide one over onto my plate just for shits and giggles. I think this whole room is shifting downhill this way. Angles of all the doors, windows, all the wood, it's all just slowly leaning. I can really appreciate a place that just has like a table of random bones. Just an assortment. It's normal, don't worry. Nothing to see here. It's a really nice place. I mean, it's old, it's falling apart, it really needs some love, but it's a pretty nice joint. I mean, look at the angle. You probably can't really tell, but yeah, everything's sloping to one degree or another. But it's made of woods, out in a place where there's a lot of water. Who knows? Okay, and we're off again. We only have a couple miles to go to the ferryman, so we're taking it mellow and easy. We could take a different way out. There's a little bridge that the dude built for us. It's all under construction, but you know, it is what it is. Ugh. That was a great breakfast. Met a lot of new people. Still meeting new people on the trail. Unfortunately, Colossus is a sobo, so we won't get to hang out again. I really like people that are at least twice my size. I told him, you're fun. I get to pick on you, and you can't beat me up. It's like beating up a little kid. You'll look like an asshole. But he liked my antics. Because often big people don't get picked on by little people, so we have fun with it. Ooh, that's a little dangerous. We got a ferryman's like 4 miles away or some such. So, all them little cheater roads we took really paid off. Oh, we're going to take the day off in town. There's a cute little place that's nice and cheap that has food and shuttle to get food and, you know, all the amenities, everything we need for like $30, $40. I don't know, affordable. Dunkin' Donut stuff everywhere. They really love that shit out here. I'm assuming that's the coffee the guy was using. There's a dozen or so empty containers around the window. It was good coffee though. I enjoyed 3 or 4 cups myself. Okay, well, that was great. Thanks for breakfast, Tim. It was good stuff. I didn't think I'd be able to eat 12 pancakes, but I did. I wasn't a fan of the apple in them. Turns out that's the white and the red, white, and blue. Berries were totally cool, but apple's a little weird. It's completely different consistency than everything else. It's the only thing in there that has some bite to it. So it really makes it stand out. I wasn't a fan of that. But I ate them all anyway. Okay, here we are back at the trail. Oh, that's convenient when you can take a blue blaze, get some pancakes, and it takes you right back to the trail. You didn't even have to walk none of that stuff because we walked it on a blue blaze. Bridge. Spooky Bridge. Oh, it balances. Okay, Spooky Bridge has been here for a minute. It's held people much heavier than me. It's all the joy of log walking, but with training wheels to the side. You can grab on at any time. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, it gets stressful here at the end. Ooh. Oh, still got it. Ooh, I haven't touched the training wheels yet. Boom, boom. Yeah! Okay, that was mildly stressful, but for some reason, having those little beams made it less stressful. Slightly less. Ooh, thank you. 12 didn't time it right. I've taken 2 huge deuces today. I had to drop another one after pancakes just by sheer displacement, but you know, they had plumbing back at the place. I got to wash my hands afterwards and everything. It was nice. But 12 didn't time it right, so she's got to go cat hole. And I'm going to sit down and have me a safety meeting. Does no good to pull ahead right now because, you know, ferryman's in another mile or so. I'm not sure what protocol is. I see the canoe on the other side, right over there, and hunts. But I see nobody, and I don't want to like just start yelling. I mean, I'm sure my voice would carry across, but not very far. I just sit here and wait. I'm not in a hurry anyway. We're kind of early for the day. And since there's not a lot of traffic, I don't expect them to, you know, be on their toes about this. So our raft guide was an awesome guy. He understands through hikers, got us through it without delay. Drew us a map of what we need to do and who we need to call, where we need to go. So we did everything he told us to do because I know he knows what he's talking about. Now we're headed to the meeting spot where we're going to get picked up. We already made the call to Sterling is what it's called. It's nice, they'll take us everywhere we need to go because everything's spread out, not walking distance. And breakfast is included. Yeah. Okay, our directions told us to come and hang out by Smokey the Bear. Welcome to Caratunk. So it's okay to smoke here, but not the good stuff. What? Isn't that legal in this state? This place is pretty nice. I didn't, you know, it looked pretty big, and then we got in there, and it's huge. Our room is tiny because we got the smallest one there is, but it's the first time I've ever gotten a, well, I mean, she paid for it, but the first time I've ever gotten a private room at like a, I don't know, is this considered a hostel or is this a bread and breakfast? Well, it's an inn, Sterling Inn. Pretty fancy. Or old, not very fancy, just huge, old. Lots of wood going on in there. Evidently there's a hot tub down the way, but they're like, it's a 25-man hot tub. That's a huge hot tub. I don't really want to go in that. It sounds filthy to me. We're at the very top left corner of this building. Digging the vibes here though. Great hiker box. I already scored all of the fuel out of it. There's like 5 cans that I can take all of it. A couple of them are pretty good, but most of them suck. But that's cool. Fuel's fuel, man. It all makes coffee. Day 207. I'm still here at the Sterling. I've been up for hours on end. What the odds? So there's only a couple people on the trail I don't really want to be around. I refer to that couple as Baby Voice and her brother, because it's a creepy weird. They both talk in baby voice to each other. I was complaining about it yesterday because Ketchup and Single Wide and Double D showed up and we were chatting. And I was like, what are the odds fucking of all the people I want to avoid? These are the only people I want to avoid. I'm like, it's fucking Baby Voice and her brother. And he's like, oh, damn. He's like, he used to talk in baby voice real bad until somebody said something to him enough. And you know, he kind of stopped doing it in public. But he's like, yeah, they both used to just baby voice. I was like, oh, no. I had to witness that shit, man. I had to shut it down, too. And I let it go on way too long. It burned a little hole in my brain. I'm still trying to fill in the spot, man. So I got the news this morning. Actually last night. And I saw that the AT is pretty much gone. The bottom 900 miles or so. Town's all devastated, wiped away. Uncle Johnny's, like just the red roof poking up above the water. Lord knows, man. Like everything's gone. The trail is gonna be just, I have to imagine, like just from the little I've seen, there's not a whole lot of information out there. But I have to imagine the trail will not be fixed for years. I mean, that looked like a shit ton of damage down there, and over 900 miles. I mean, come on, really? Wow, it's. I mean, the pictures I've seen are fucking devastating, man. I don't know everywhere they got hit, but I mean, the bottom 900 miles. That's a lot of little towns in there, man. What about the people on the trails? Like, how many of them got swept away? I don't know how bad it was where, I just saw snippets and such. They don't always tell me where, or even when they do tell me where, I don't necessarily recognize the area, but it's roads and stuff. It's, towns. But crazy. I mean, those places have been pummeled by storms for so long, but this hurricane, and she did look like a large one. The little bit I got to see before it hit, I got to, the last time I had service, it was just hitting landfall, and then here it is a couple days later, and yeah, it's according to Hillbilly. I've been chatting with him because I'm thinking about hitching down to, I think he's in North Carolina. He says the beach was okay, but everything else is, and the word he used was fucked with like 6 U's, and he's like, it's fucked. So I mean, like a lot of those visuals only live now in my head and in my camera. Like those places will never be the same. The trail might be rerouted. I don't know. Landslides happened, and if they already started happening, more will happen. It's new earth is exposed, new rocks are exposed. Shit's gonna happen. It's not something that's gonna fix itself. And to cut down that many trees, I mean, I can only imagine how the blowdowns are all down the way. And if they have to do that all by hand, I mean, people got bigger things to worry about than down trees on a trail right now. Their whole fucking communities are gone. It's insane. I mean, it looked like a huge storm when I saw it last, but it still hasn't. Whatever the residuals haven't made their way here. It's foggy and shit out there. I hear drips in the background, but we haven't had a big storm since it. So I don't even know what's going on with that. I haven't checked the weather per se. I just started seeing all the damage and kind of got focused in on that for a little while sitting out here drinking coffee for the past few hours. I'm on cup number 3, man. I'm a little lit. Breakfast starts in an hour, so just hanging out waiting for that. And back to the trail today. I think that was our last bed we slept in. Very uncomfortable. Tiny blankets. Couldn't cover us both. Anyway. Well, so I mean, what does that do to the AT? Like, I wonder really how much the AT is fucked. And if the towns associated with it are, that kind of kills it too, because you gotta have somewhere to get food and stuff. So I mean, everything's affected. Will that affect the other trails? Will people start visiting the PCT and the CDT more while they're waiting for the AT to come back and be resurrected? I don't even know really how bad the damage is yet. So I guess I'll find out in the days and weeks to come. Anyway, good morning. I'm going to get lit and drink coffee while I wait for food to start. And we're off. We got dropped back off at Smokey the Bear. Sterling Inn was really nice. Big fan. Really cool guys, very accommodating. They had a little store we could purchase our resupply from. Not overly priced. And a rather nice joint. Except for, baby voice and her brother, everything was excellent. Hey, let's try to get to Shaw's in time, huh? Shit's getting chilly. Lord knows when the rain's coming, but, the hurricane that fucked everything up, I mean, I assume that water's gotta be dropped off somewhere, There's still clouds from that. But we're really, really far north, so Lord knows. I sure as hell don't. Leaves have lost their color rather quickly. So the ferryman stops working. Today's the last day. And it's just crazy that I just randomly start on a day way out in Alabama and happen to make it here in time for an event that I didn't even really realize happened, but I guess I knew happened. Because I did remember a ferryman, but I didn't think that, yeah, he stops, but of course he does. But that never even crossed my mind until 12 saw Shira mention something in a post about it. I was like, oh, that's back when we were on Sugarloaf Mountain. Last one to Katahdin wins. As long as you end on a nice day. I want to push it off, but I don't want to end in a frozen hellscape. It is a much warmer day than one would expect. I'm out here shirtless. Can't even quite feel the sun. It's not very warm. The sun itself. I have to assume that's the warm air being blown in by a hurricane, or once was a hurricane. Hoping the majority of the moisture gets blown out to sea and we just get the warm air from it. Another strange smell in the air. Can't smell many things, but I smell this. Really curious with what went down in the south over the past few days, are still going on. Is this the last year the AT will be the AT? Is it going to get rerouted? So many possibilities depending on extent of damage. 24 might be the last class of the old AT. Then there'll be a new one. Might as well start it down in Alabama. Whatever it is, sounds like it's got to be a Herculean effort. I mean, 900 miles of trail to fix, trail towns. I can't imagine that being a fast thing. And then again, you have the hikers this year that'll want to keep going south. You know, and I don't know what the trail's like. I guess they'll find out. But if there's already this kind of shit going down and you need to be rescued, you're a jerk. It's one thing to go out there knowing what the risks you run. And then when you do run afoul, hey, you did it to yourself. But you know they're going to push their button and need to be rescued.
I've done quite a bit of blowdown hopping in my time. And it dramatically slows you down. It's worse than bouldering. And yeah, by what I saw of the AT, that should be worse than anything I've ever had to deal with. Maybe they'll make special exceptions and let them use chainsaws out there or something. So if you got to do it all with hand saws, ugh. So there might be a little bit of bear spray on my hip belt. Today's the first day I've gone shirtless in a little while. And my left hip is very spicy. Feel like you're all out in some nature and whatnot. And then you look over, you're like, oh no, there's a parking lot right there. I could have just walked here. I totally could have, but the terrain was so mellow. I was like, yeah, no, I'd rather be on the trail. Just down for what's easy right now. Easy, breezy, beautiful, mellow. Got water coming up in point one. I'm gonna wash my hip belt and my hips. Oh, I see a dog. Just filtered a couple liters of water. In the rare instance, I'm actually carrying 2 liters of water. No, I prefer 1, but there's a whole 6 miles right now. And everything's flat and easy, so I was like, might as well. Could definitely do it on 1 liter. Oh, Pleasant Pond. But just because there's no water on the map doesn't mean there's not water. It is a cool and beautiful day. My pack's not overly heavy. The terrain is flat. This is enjoyable hiking. It's a little bittersweet just because we're getting near the end. But, you know, we've been preparing for this for a while. Mentally, emotionally, all that. It'll be sad for both of us. You know what I like at a staircase? Being able to see the top right when I touch the bottom. I didn't notice this hill on the map. Somebody snuck it in on me. But it's the AT. There's a massive rocks and roots somewhere. You get to climb it. Thank you. I'd have kept going straight. A bit more uphill than I anticipated. I didn't really look at the map. I looked at it and was like, oh, there's a place in like 11 miles. Let's see if we can make it there. Oh, yeah, it's only 22 up and 2,200 down over 11 miles. I didn't realize all the up was in the first couple miles. But you know, get it done and over with and all that. Nuts. Colors probably do not show up nearly as well. Yeah, all the way back. Okay, easy breezy downhill for the rest of the day. My senses are still thrown off. The sun is just always low in the sky now. Even at noon, I'm casting a long shadow. It's only 2 o'clock. It feels so much later than 2. Ooh. Definitely some sort of structure up here at some point. I remember this sign specifically. I got a sunrise photo here last time. Why does that sign stand out opposed to the others? I don't know. The colors look better from up here. Nuts. Still, the camera doesn't really do them justice. There's some dark reds and whatnot in there. So, that's a little better. Okay, let's get out of here. Oh, the landscape of the trail is changing. Like, see this thing, and it goes up over me. You're like, what is that? And I'm like, what is it? Oh, that's the root. Like, that was the tree laying down. That root was in this little canal, and now it's above me dangling because the tree done fell over. It's not often you get to walk under roots. All right, it's 4:15, but look how long that shadow is. It's like a 7 o'clock shadow right there. Days are too damn short. Remember when they used to last forever? This is a really good year. A hard one, but a really good one. So many spider webs glistening in the sun. They're everywhere. Just single strands. I'm walking on dirt again. Oh, it feels great. Should be coming along a water source in, I don't know, maybe 3/4 of a mile, maybe less. That's gonna be the one where we fill up and start looking for a spot after that. We're hoping to make it to Shaw's tomorrow. Mostly to catch up a bunch of people that we know that are a little bit ahead of us. I've been seeing footprints from, I believe, what's his name, Dizzy. That'd be Grit's dog. Seems about the right size, shape, and whatnot. And they don't look like they have much more than a day, probably less on us. They're good peeps. And it's nice to travel through the 100-mile. You know, it's all of our last hurrah. Travel together as a group. That's what happened last time, too. Everybody kind of banded together for it. Took their time. Enjoyed themselves. Hopefully the weather's kind. We are a little late in the season. But as of tomorrow, we still have like 2 weeks. In which, before Baxter closes down, and that's ample time. We only have like 120 miles left, give or take. Can you imagine how mosquito-y it was around here at one point? We really lucked out. Going slow has its advantages. Power lines. Got some good colors going on. Obviously they freshly worked here because they laid down some straw. There would be some good camping up there at Stonehenge, I'm imagining. And they did leave us a nice stump to mark our way. Decapitated the poor tree, but yeah. It's a signpost now. We made it to Moxie Pond, but we didn't find anywhere to camp along the way. I mean, there was a couple crappy sites, but there's something labeled as Moxie Pond Camp up here. So we're gonna go poke our heads in and see what's going on. This is what's labeled as Camp Moxie. Obviously, it looks privately owned. We didn't see any signs that say, you know, private property, no trespassing. But we're going to infer it. So we wouldn't feel good sleeping here. You know, you got to worry about that cop knock on your tent at 3 a.m. Our house is like right here and stuff, so I'm assuming it's private property. Limited access kind of stuff. But we'll go find ourselves a campsite somewhere where we're comfortable. We still got a little bit of sunlight left. They dug this road out of the solid rock on both sides. The road almost feels paved, but it's definitely dirt. It's like packed down. So at the end of the dirt road, we just kind of pulled over, found a spot. There's a car parked here and peeked around, and there were some flat spots. So we're like, cool, started setting up. The guy who owns the car, turns out he was doing trail maintenance, so he knew exactly what we were doing. He's like, you guys know Bo? You know, that was his first question. So we knew we weren't going to have any problems from him. So yeah, we set up, sleep here, wake up, do it again tomorrow. Rinse, repeat.